Welcome to Lyme Regis Fossil Walks. I'm taking a fossil walk out along the beach today. I'm going through to the west and I'm looking for fossils like petrified wood, and some of the big ammonites on the rocks are fine to see anyway as you walk along. This is what I'd dearly love to get today, a bit of this petrified fossil wood with teredo borings in it. I've used a lapidary machine to polish this little piece up. You can see how nicely it polishes up with agatized and silicified teredo borings there, you can see. Look at that, a nautilus and an ammonite fossilized together on the same rock. Here is some of the right rock. You can see the Arneoceros bodlei impression of an ammonite there, and I'm going to break this small piece of eroded limestone rock with ammonites protruding out open. I'm going to tap that with this geological hammer and see what I get in the middle of it. Just doing this tapping now, trying to split right through the rock with the cleave end of the hammer. There you go, split right through. That's revealed some quite big ones in there. You can see them running into the rock there. It's a bit of fun. It's the main thing to get these fossil finds off the beach at low tide, these nice little fossil finds, because the sea does its worst for wearing them down, the attrition of the sand and sea. And as I walk along, you can see this tree growing down the cliffs. It's coming down with the landslides. And just up ahead here, I found a piece of fossil wood, a really nice chunk. So that's one for the lapidary workshop. I'm going to take that back and do a bit of work on that. It looks a bit white and blanched by the sun on the outside, but when I get to grips with cutting that in half with a diamond saw and polishing it up, I think that'll work really quite well on it. And I'll show you those slices of fossilized wood polished at some point as I go along in these YouTube videos. I'll try and do some more fossil preparation YouTube videos as the time goes by, because the fossil preparation videos are what people seem to want more and more of now. Another big ammonite on the beach, a really big one, Areatites bucklandi. Look at the scale of my hand in terms of that huge specimen. And it's a lovely day here in November, and I love to see this moss waterfall. Look at that moss waterfall recovering. It was a really big feature at one point, but the big waves in a storm knocked that one down. And just below the moss waterfall, there's some quite nice devil's toenails, they were referred to, with myth and legend being attached to these fossil finds. They're just oyster shells from the Jurassic period. And I'm going to do a bit more collecting as I go down along the beach and look in between the boulders and see what I can find. Look at the lovely moss trying to recover there. Some lovely limestone ledges there, and you can see down into Petrified Bay. And look at the discoloration in the seawater. That's how rough the weather has been. It's really been tearing up the seabed and eroding the mudslides. Here's a fossil nautilus up ahead, preserved in calcite. I love seeing how these fossil nautilus have been eroded by the sea. You can see the dog-tooth spar calcite crystals there. And here's another big ammonite turfed out by the sea and flipped over for you to see. Sometimes they're buried and you can't see them at all. I love being in the back of Petrified Bay here, but the stormy weather is bringing that sea in now. So it's time to turn back, and I'll have a look all the way back. Here's a stone face in the tree roots on the way back. I'm going to have a good look and do some sieving down along the beach for you to see what I find. It's such a nice day being out here along the Jurassic coast. And in the bigger rocks, I found a lovely bit of the dog-tooth spar calcite crystals. These were the chambers of an ammonite that got filled with calcite crystals. Primarily, the ammonite filled them with water or gas to give it its buoyancy in the sea. Here we are walking back out of Petrified Bay, big storm there, down there in the distance, and I'm going to start doing a bit of sieving for Susie. She likes these sieving videos. I'm going to heap up this sieve and see what's inside. I'm looking for iron pyrite ammonites and crinoid. Even a backbone of an ichthyosaur would be a really nice find in amongst these rock pools where concentrations of pyrite are. The iron pyrite is heavy, the fossils that are preserved in pyrite are heavy, and they get concentrated out in these certain pockets on the beach. So sieving away really gives me a good chance of finding some fossils that have been eroded into those pockets by the sea. The sea's done a lot of work lately. Big seas have attacked the cliffs and brought fossil-bearing material down onto the beach. And I'm having a look here as the tide comes in. I went out at low tide. Here I've got a bit of the crinoid fossil. You can see those little stems, nice ossicles there, and they look very star-shaped at the ends. It's a really nice find. I'm really happy with that. I'm going to do a bit more sieving now. Sieving for Susie, see what para-ammonites I can get. I'm really looking in the fool's gold here, and the fool's gold is really tucked underneath this rock, hopefully where other people haven't been looking for fossils, because people come along, look across the surface of the beach, and they don't get in under rocks and really have a scout about. So I'm going to have a go here, see what I can pluck out of the rock, and see what's in underneath the rock, and get one of the para-ammonites, hopefully, the little Promicroceras ammonites, the ones preserved in iron pyrite, and have a look through this sieve. There's quite a bit of pyrite in the sieve, so that's always a good sign when you've got that heavy concentration of that metallic looking stuff, the fool's gold. I'm just going to see here what I can get in this sieve pot, just a little sieve pot that I got online. You can get those potting sieves. Just put potting sieve into a search engine and you should come out with one of those. That was it though, nothing in that sieve. And here's the ammonite graveyard on the way back. A lovely sight to see on any given day, and you need to get out here at low tide to obviously see it. These ammonites eroding down by the sea's actions. The ammonites, you can see, must have died out because there was a volcano nearby or some chemical imbalance in the water. Lovely day at Lyme Regis. I'm looking back towards the historic harbour, the Lyme Regis harbour, and just here on the mudslide as I'm walking back, this little cliff collapse, well, a mudslide collapse, has come down onto the beach. That would have been scary. That's why you've got to keep away from mudslides and cliffs. They're all very dangerous, what they can throw out at you. I'm going to walk right down towards the Cobb now and see the harbour in this lovely evening light. That's the Cobb wall you can see there, extending out to sea. Saves Lyme Regis from the big storms. It's a real good buffer against the big prevailing winds that come down from the Caribbean sometimes when the southwest winds are blowing in and really wreak havoc along the coastline. The southwesterly winds bring in big waves. It's a long fetch to the Caribbean when those low pressures down there send up the big waves. Here's the harbour, is looking nice and calm behind the historic Cobb wall, and let's have a look at the sunset too. It's been a really lovely evening to walk back along the Jurassic coast towards Lyme Regis. There's the sun going down. I hope you liked this little fossil hunting video. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you did like the video. That always helps, and don't forget to subscribe. It's totally free to subscribe and see our channel. Thank you.